Lego secrets.
My name's Bob. There, I'm an alcoholic.
Willkommen zum Screencast Die Saccharide und ich möchte das wie immer an dem häufigsten Molekül der Glucose zeigen. Ich zeichne sie jetzt einmal etwas schneller hin.
Esse caminho passa do meio. Quem mostrava esse caminho longe? Quem mostrava esse caminho longe?
Blow, blown. Break, broke, brokular verbs.
Max is very strange these days. A few days ago, Max and Anna were talking when I went into the kitchen.
Sort of,
When they saw me, a surprise for Hannah.
I was wondering whether it's possible to
Diary.
make
Max is
make
very
high
strange these
fructose corn
days.
syrup.
A few days ago, Max and
Do you know what makes you sick and overweight? It's not fat. The answer is
I was
sugar.
wondering whether it's
And the
possible.
average sugar a year. That's roughly 22 teaspoons
I was
every
wondering whether it's
single day. And our kids, fat.
I was
the
wondering whether
answer
it's possible to
Sugar.
make.
And the average American consumes about 100 pounds of sugar a year. That's roughly 22 teaspoons every single day. And our kids?
Oh, on your floor until things up.
how do I put this? No.
Well, I guess.
Certainly the most destructive vice
Let me ask you this, though, General, because what's
person
happening
can
here, and
have,
obviously ISIS or ISIS,
more than pride, which is supposedly the number one of the
described as
cardinal
a splinter group of
sins,
out.
the most destructive vice, if you like, that
Hello
that
po.
a
Ngayon
person
po
can
ay
have, more than pride.
Hi, Bob.
How you doing?
Hi, Bob. Not bad.
Not bad. Well, we'll settle for that. Let me introduce.
For those of you, you got me. We're okay. A little bit of self-introduction.
These films are right.
How you doing?
Not bad.
Not bad. Well, we'll settle for that. I mean, this is I'm Robert Wright.
Now, we have drugs that we have 5 minutes. Hallelujah. But in the realm of the spirit, you have more than 5 senses. Now, we are taught that we have 5 senses.
Good evening and thanks for the invitation.
For one little boy, heaven is very real.
Had long foretold the sign of his birth.
No one is so brave that he is not disturbed by something unexpected.
Prophets had long foretold the sign of his birth.
Our goal in the next few webcasts is to use the reactivity of carbohydrates that we've already discussed.
Just as at the night's big football game began, Colin Fraser reluctantly turned the dial of his countertop
looking at possible preferred
which contain 2 monosaccharide
alternative futures.
And really the is about the structure of the knowledge base, how it came to be, some of the characteristics of it.
See, I want you to feel it too. So just listen to the
Now this is from Jose. I'm very shy, so it's hard for me to make friends at work.
Understand it. I'm not a perfect girl. I drop my fears.
I would say, first of all, all of us have when you let a way of defining yourself. And human beings don't usually
the Pickering Center for Research
Shyness.
in Human
Now this is from Jose. I'm very shy friends and get noticed at work. How can I change that?
Come naked to work. I think that'll change it very quickly.
NSF has started this Project of Life study where they're trying to document various species. Right now we've identified different species on Earth, but estimates are that there's anywhere from 5 million to 100 million total species. And there's this effort to try to catalog more and more over and over again. If you look at those species, there's 2, at least in most, there's 2 adaptive mechanisms that you find. One represented by the rattlesnake is that they're born ready to go. They're able to defend themselves. They're able to fend off, avoid predators. They're able to find prey and eat. The other adaptive strategy that you see quite often related to bacteria is that the reproduction is in such large numbers that some of the animals survive.
Hi, my name is Janice Engelhardt from Taipei, Taiwan, and I want to ask you for clarification on what you discussed yesterday, which was the
The aesthetic emotions. A tilde broken by aesthetic emotions is meant those emotional feelings which are conception of
engaging university students and faculty in discussions about life's hardest questions and the relevance to all of
Man
says in his question, if all
If I commit any sin, then who is to blame? If I am destined to commit murder, and then I commit
is one of the 6 pillars of Iman. Can be a Muslim.
Infinite growth in a finite environment is either a madman or an economist. You're an economist. It can't happen. It's impossible.
Anything.
If
Very
everything is
short that
and if I
requires
commit
a
any
lecture.
sin, then who is to blame? If I am destined to commit sin by Allah, everything is destined by Allah.
You know, full
and
moon,
if I
Sonia.
commit any sin, then who is
How
to
come
blame?
there seems to be so much, I don't know, it seems like whenever there's a full moon, there seems to be a lot of energy in the air, and
it was
people...
only 6 minutes.
It's not the minutes, it's the principle of the thing. You know, you have got an attitude on you a mile wide, and that's what's killing you. The others on the team, they're having no car to fill in for you. You see, I can't win.
Hey guys, it's Ashley Francis with Blue Sage Counseling and Wellness, and we are going to talk about emotional.
This one, it might not make sense to you if you're a man, especially if you're a man's man. I'm a man's man. I'm a play table soccer. Emotional security.
That keep the relationship.
This one, it might not make sense to you if you're a man, especially if you're a man's man. I'm a man's man. I'm as man as men come.
Well, in this
How many people here play table soccer?
Taking a look at errors.
I'm as man as men are. I roll tire. You know rolling tire? Some young people know that, but old guys don't know it.
I'm heading into one of my favorite museums in the world, the Met, today to get some inspiration for some paintings that I'm working on. And so I'm to the Asian.
I'm really interested in this. This theme that keeps reappearing. It's the divine ratio or phi ratio or something. Perfect expression of nature.
I would like, for example,
Weirdo.
terms.
Sucker of big brown dirty eggs. Idiot. Liquor of salmon fried fish. Moron. Raider of the lost fart. Rump roast. Liquor of dirty chicken butts. Buttfish. Soiler of towels.
Listen, you insignificant square-toed, pimple-headed spine.
Between Israel and church, and what you're saying is not really a distinction between the terms. Dispensationalism promotes the idea that Jesus actually offered the kingdom to the Jews, but that they had rejected it. And as a consequence, the kingdom was postponed into a future time. And that time will be the millennial kingdom where Jesus will sit on David's literal throne from a literal Jerusalem, ruling the nations with the rod of iron. In this respect, we can say there is no great distinction.
The mechanistic, eugenic, and hygienic aspects of the future. What I have had in mind in the course of these reflections has been to cast light upon the form that social thinking should take today. I should like now to add something to what we have already discussed that may make it possible to take these ideas to a higher level. This is really necessary, just because of the special demands of the spirit of our epoch.
Belgium, where the Havre Sugar Beet Seed Center of Excellence is located, the sugar beet seeds undergo a difficult and high-tech process to ensure farmers all over the world get the best sugar beet quality. All seeds are being cleaned, steeped, primed, pelleted, coated, and finally packed to be transported worldwide.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Vishal Pawar. I'm specialist neurologist in Aster Specialist Medical Center, International City, Dubai. Today I'm going to talk on when to consult a neurologist. Before going into that, I'll just give you a broad overview of neurology. So basically a disease is a set of symptoms, and one symptom can present as a manifesting disease. So right knowledge of symptoms is very. Before going into that, I'll just give you a broad overview of neurology.
So what is a worldview?
Here's
There's a lot of
the
model
basically
of
a
the
disease.
mind that
We've seen
I'm
a lot of
working from.
studies done that
Now,
show that
most
people
people
with a Christian worldview are more likely to live the way that There's a diet that seems to be changing people's lives for the better.
If you follow this diet, we could reverse obesity and type 2 diabetes.
Even elite athletes are rethinking the way they eat.
Many in the form of a carbohydrate represent hydrogen atoms.
Is a worldview.
And in the molecule of
Many
sugar,
years ago, we used the
we have
word
a
paradigm,
total of 12.
which has now been replaced by the word worldview. A worldview essentially is, how do we see reality?
Although presentism
What is that reality in form? Now, my belief is that
Welcome back, philosophers and deep thinkers. Today, we embark on an extraordinary journey and deep thinking.
Easier. And our belief
Have you
system,
been encouraged
of
to
course,
carb
informs
count,
our
but
thought.
don't quite know how to jump in? Do you face
we
plates
embark on an
of food and
extraordinary
find it
journey into the
difficult
realm
to
of time
estimate
itself.
the carbohydrate?
We'll dive into the captivating debate between two contrasting perspectives, presentism and eternalism. Get ready to challenge
Semua dalam dunia ni, yang Islam, mengakui bahwa gula adalah bapa pada segala penyakit.
We're going to discuss chocolate, vanilla, the basics of
But before we delve into the depths of
Welcome to Death by Chocolate Cookies. We're going to discuss chocolate.
To my children I make this pledge. Give in, Zachary, because I draw my courage from you. Your silly giggle gives me hope.
Will be
Your
everywhere,
gentle prayers give me
our
strength.
contact lens.
My child, give me the reason to say to America, you are at risk. I will not rest, Max, until I have done what I can to make your world safe.
Hi, my name is Janice Engelhardt from Taipei, Taiwan, and I want to ask Mr. McPhee for clarification on what he discussed yesterday, which was
Hi. 17 who had just fallen in love, 15 who had
and our human future.
Welcome, and I do think
By
it's quite auspicious to have
Henry A.
Professor Gaia
Kissinger.
here for the first anthropology department. Really exciting, this kind of event, and I hope everybody that can will come and have dinner and sort of celebrate in general. This is a really exciting series, and I can't think of anyone
This is
better
Dave.
to start that.
Dave has music blasting through his headphones on an everyday. Dave has music blasting through his headphones.
Teachings of all ages.
He listens to pop music as he boards the
Written
bus.
by
He
Manly P.
listens
Hall.
to punk rock music as he
Narrated
works out.
by
And he listens
Graham
to
Dunlop
bossa nova music.
and Russ Allen.
Preface. Numerous volumes has commentaries
Music,
upon this.
particularly among adolescents, is a very...
You might have seen a crane lifting heavy load on a construction site.
Types of fluids. Generally, there are two types of fluids: Newtonian fluid and non-Newtonian. The only difference between them
There it
is
will travel down different
Newtonian
pathways.
follow the Newton law of viscosity, and non-Newtonian do not follow the Newton law of viscosity.
But the ageless truths of life.
What is the work done in stretching?
Not change viscosity, no matter how much
Question?
force you apply.
Homeostases are at odds with one another within. Stress may refer to physical stresses in the environment, such as those caused by temperature or the presence of danger, as well as those within the organism, such as those caused by hunger. Its body after homeostases are at odds with one.
My name is Marcus Gray. Thanks a lot for the invitation to speak here at QAAFI, and thanks to Eugenie Rory for inviting me. We're doing
Of homeostasis, where all
Donald, and you're listening to how written points are emerging, which managed to promote a viewpoint that many psychologists have to listen.
Hey everybody, I hope that you're doing well. Today we're going to start into our lecture on emotion series.
I'm going to show you 3 separate people who are going to say the same sentence using
Test number 4, which is going to
¿Cómo están? Ding, 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 ding.
Hello and good afternoon, friends. Welcome.
And then towards the end, we're going to go over solution stoichiometry. Problems where you have to convert from the reactions, precipitation reactions, and the calculations associated with those, along with limited excess radiation problems and even percent yield questions as well.
Based on how I went.
Emma, hi. You're neither male nor female.
Better if it worked less, this might work, and why it might be a good idea, and what kind of results it would have.
There's a huge variance of gender presentation and gender identity.
don't see Bree, but when Bree walks in, she'll have the sheath. And next week we'll have Joel Brandt from the Department of Computer Science. Joel will be defending his thesis work on how the web is changing programming tools that he's built to help.
Hi, my name is Tetsuya Nakamura at the University of Osaka. I am a member of the development.
What are vertebrates? All of us are aware of fights between dogs and cats. They cannot survive together, but still they have. Do you know what is that? They both are vertebrates. What are vertebrates?
In the cosmos to each other
as
and
a
its
rubber
laws
sheet, like a
predicted
trampoline. A heavy object like the sun will actually bend the sheet, and the heavier it is, the more the sheet, space-time, is bent. If you now roll a lighter object, say a planet...
This new picture of space with solid.
Chinese history be like. Chao Ling takes power. 247 million perish. European history be like.
Philosophers and deep thinkers. Today, throughout history. As the great German philosopher Immanuel Kant once said, time is not an impulse of presentism and eternalism. Foundational knowledge.
Okay, so the question is, suppose there is a 5 gram of hemoglobin deficit, how you would like to replenish that deficit with iron sucrose?
In the membrane of the companion cells.
What kind of formula?
Good start with Christy, and welcome to the Christian Village Church. And got off to a good start with Christy, and everything is everything under control there, Al? Is it,
Hello.
Welcome to Nottingham Contemporary, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us
to the
this
Linda Hall
evening.
Library.
I'm
the president.
Assistant curator for the public program here, and
right, it's time
it's a pleasure and very exciting to host this evening's talk, which is titled "The Philosophy of Time."
There is definitely a deeply ingrained idea in the Western world that Africans are a people without history.
Nerve and its supratrochlear branch
History
medially.
in my old university.
Half of the entirety of the
Reflect the and its supratrochlear branch medially.
Includes the history of Australia, New Zealand.
Part of the team working on
versus DOI. International Standard Serial Number, ISSN, is a unique number used to identify a print or electronic periodical.
Those of you who don't
Hello
know,
everyone, this is Raj giving you demonstration on
I'd
the
like to
welcome
ISSN is the International Society of Sports Nutrition.
Drug targets.
It's been around about
Auricularis anterior.
Has the views, different views.
Auricularis.
The lateral view, inferior view, anterior view, and the
Auricularis and Auricularis and
unique land constantly underestimated by people from outside the area. Southeast by people from
anyone who's ever traveled to the country, it's very easy to feel like an outsider almost immediately. And I'm not just talking about judgment of physical appearance, but rather the seemingly monolithic cultures that pervade in nearly every country of the region that is referred to as East Asia, or sometimes less commonly Northeast Asia, to distinguish.
My name is Larissa again, and I'm a medical librarian in the Research Medical Library. And today we're going to talk about NIH public access policy
as Oriental, although people don't really use that. The umbrella term Asian, or colloquially, people don't really use that term anymore. This is confusing and
talk about on the library web. Talk about
opening notes here. As Catherine mentioned, we like this session to be as interactive as possible, so please watch your mind. I keep my eyes wide open all the time.
The content of the article inform the needs of further processing. We will start our quick score at the search tab. You can enter any 5-minute search into the query.
Hello viewers, I welcome you all in 5 Minutes Information channel. This is episode number 81, and in this episode, the first digital object identified.
The purpose of this video is to show you how to get a DOI number for an article. In the current format of APA, I believe it is the 6th edition, they require a DOI number. That wasn't required in the 5th edition, and I believe that's a change in the last 2 to 3 years.
私は何度これんじゃ死ねブルー
Ding 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 ding.
The orifices of the face, mainly their orbit, the eyelids, nostrils, and lips respectively. It is the function of the facial muscles to serve as the orifices of the face, mainly their
facial muscles इसके बाद तमाम
Lissa's Dream, The Sentient Wars, Origin 1, written by James S. Aaron and M.D. Cooper, narrated long before OutSystem and Tanis Richards, or the Soul Space Federation, and
a different wavelength, we will be able to see that everything is radiating light waves of electromagnetic
as a dispute about temporal passage or becoming temporal.
Welcome back. Our next speaker is Cohen from Baglan University, who will tell us why presentism is not refuted by special.
I gave him a hard time pronouncing my name, so good job. It is often argued that the advent of special relativity.
In this section, we're going to be looking at the facial anatomy, looking at the various muscle groups and assessing what their actions are.
The first muscle group, the depressor labii inferioris. The depressor anguilioris. The labii superioris aliquinesi.
Formed on each side of midline of nose respectively.
And the orbicularis oculi.
Facial muscles.
Hi everyone. In this you'll see muscles as it's. In this anterior view of the face, I start with these muscles from superior to inferior. First muscle is
dilator nervous muscles are originated from alveolar to dilate nostrils. Dilator nervous muscles are originated. This muscle is compressor nervous muscle. Compressor nervous muscle is originated from alveolar cannon tooth of and the main function of
preface of the waning of the Middle Ages.
It's Max Wein, rock and roll terror in the world.
Well, I'm having some good as a drummer,
about Carolingian illuminated manuscripts from other parts. Manuscripts from other parts of the empire. Tours, Mets, and
but in history, as in
Carolingian
nature,
manuscripts. You'll remember that Alcuin was called from Europe to Aachen by Charlemagne to begin the palace school. So Alcuin essentially becomes a director of education for the Carolingian. Tours, Mets, and I'm now going to talk about
kingdom will have no end. And thirdly, that in his rule the nation of Israel shall have on their heart. Their hearts will be circumcised. Ezekiel said they'll be washed with pure water and God's Spirit will live within them, i.e. they'll be born again as a nation. The entire nation shall serve him and have a constraint to love him. Sons do their father.
240 slides. A very great pleasure to welcome Manuel Dela. I'm sure is kind of known to most.
Today we're going to continue talking about Gothic architecture. There's lots to talk about.
But rather the kind of Gothic that had to do with the transformation really in culture and insular sort of society that characterized the Middle Ages and even particularly these guys. But rather the kind that had to do with the transformation really in culture from a monastic and insular sort of society that characterized the Middle Ages and even the beginning of the Romanesque period to a society that was much more urban, much more interested in trade, and much richer, quite frankly.
And the mascot.
And with those riches in expressing the power of the city-state.
This is a recording. Hey, we're back from our break. I have this picking chess man because whatever the kinds of saw in Normandy at the time of where it was clear still run by I have this picture of man. We're back from our break. I have this picture of a Viking chessman because I wanted to raise them that William Rufus was kind of a throwback to his Viking ancestors, that he was
Hello. In today's video, we're going to talk about
operating under.
If I were to pick a time, but before we do that, let's and a place. Now we know that the pharynx, it is a musculofacial half cylinder that links the oral cavity and the nasal cavity in the head to the larynx and the esophagus.
Last time we talked about, and not particularly these guys.
Could we find enough information to get an
and much richer, quite frankly.
Or to volunteer.
Let's try.
Gothic style lasted a long time in England, even in century, and into the 16th century. And in the English Gothic revival was an extreme.
Or they're moving at constant velocity. And relativity means that you have different relative perspectives.
Mrs. Wolfe, Mrs. Burton, as chairman of the Lectureship Committee of the Art Council, members of the Art Council, ladies and gentlemen.
Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer kunsthistorischen Vorlesung.
So after discussing about the
I'm sure it was more than 10 years ago
today we will be discussing about the inferior surface of the tongue. Okay?
I had to go east, asked me to call on Dr. Panofsky whether he would be willing to come out to UCLA.
Today we will be discussing about
Hey guys, Thomas Renee again.
At the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I'm here just at the American Academy to carve out the tongue, but specifically kind of a follow-up on my last video about the superior
council.
Okay, well now I
talk, which is titled The Philosophy. And tonight's talk departs from the different relationship of time.
In the philosophy of time,
the
there are
Dogeresses of Venice, the wives of the Doges. This is a LibriVox recording.
Suleiman the Magnificent, 1520 to 1566.
Or to volunteer.
1. African Islam, 1200 to 1566. It is hard for us, Pigeon, to realize that from the 8th to the 13th century, Islam was culturally, politically, and militarily superior to Europe.
This is a LibriVox.
Even in its decline in the
All
16th
LibriVox
century.
recordings are in the public domain.
So this is easily
For more
observable
information
on the
or to
market
volunteer,
of war,
please visit
in the
LibriVox.org.
Section 1
Recording
of
by
History of the
armies
Kingdom of Sight. This is a LibriVox
monarchies
recording.
start being
All
more
LibriVox
structured.
recordings are in the public domain.
Students taking final examinations. This means that my students will blink and they will not have. So when we put on our contact lenses and blink, we will go online. And who were the first people to buy internet contact lenses?
You better stay afraid. You never thought the universe be looking for revenge. I can't see. I can't my plan. It's all day.
Muhammad seems to me to represent
and welcome to your chapter 20 lessons. In this outline, we'll be focusing on carbohydrates. So let's take a peek at our chapter ahead of us. We'll introduce carbohydrates and talk about sugars or disaccharides or even polysaccharides.
Let's talk about carbohydrates, or the carbs. One thing I like to do is always break down the words. So carbo refers to carbon. Hydrate refers to water. So literally, carbon is made out of two things. Carbon.
Now this video is about carbohydrate structure and some of the functions.
That's very different from seems to me that even with the 5 times the prayer
and all the things you gotta quote do.
First an idea, then there's no
End of the test into the specimen for 15 seconds. The dip test cassette should not touch the specimen. Digestion in human beings.
to transport our bodies.
Human beings through mouth and digest it in specific organs for digestion. In human beings. Human beings take food through mouth and digest it in specific organs for digestion. The undigested food is defecated. The food we take passes through a specific canal which begins with rectum and anus. The food gets digested gradually as it passes through the various parts of the tract.
You need to understand.
Secreted by the salivary glands, liver, and pancreas.
Next time you read, try to imagine that it was once so rare and expensive, it was called white gold. Producing sugar from the sugar cane first took place in India. 300 BC, Alexander the Great's army,
or CBD for short, is a prominent compound found in the cannabis plant.
A lot of the medical benefits of cannabis that are attributed to THC or other cannabinoids are actually due to the CBD content of the cannabis.
It has very strong anti-inflammatory properties, and not only
timing area where we actually test the timing of the launches. So come on in, take a look.
you've come here, I see.
It's going to take him a minute or two before he feels the full effects. And right now, as he's taking the second hit, this drug is
and that's what I want to discuss today. I feel I have an unbiased opinion due to the fact that I don't smoke marijuana and I don't smoke salvia. So this is just from a normal Joe.
And right now, as he's taking the second hit, this drug is entering his lungs and going directly through his brain. Very soon, don't be afraid. Push your dogs in front of you right now.
from the top.
Michael Yang.
Exchange
salvia.
It's ritualized.
Right.
I started to recording clouds on my computer so that I can make transcripts. I will see your mother and all that, you know. And then it's a beautiful moment. After 10 minutes of this,
friend.
Energy in this
I'm
room is
Charles,
overwhelmingly
All Angels
strong
from Columbia,
and
South
powerful.
Carolina, and this is my friend.
I am the president of
I'm Father Nick, the priest in Church of St. Martin's.
Show of hands or voices. How many of us?
Building heat on down in the basement and let it come up. Work of Christ.
Do you know and overweight? It's not fat. The answer is sugar. And today I'm going to tell you 6 reasons. That's roughly 22 teaspoons every single day. And our kids, they consume even more, 34 teaspoons every day.
Things that do not change.
Processed foods is easier when you remember they're foods that have been altered from their natural state.
Good morning, everybody.
Processed
Thank
foods
you very
stay
much for
fresh
joining
for months when the same food is turning moldy in just a couple of days. It's because
with any
food
friends and colleagues that you think
manufacturers
might
use
find it
man-made ingredients to prolong a product's shelf life that unfortunately may have the opposite effect on our lives. For instance, trans fats are oils infused with hydrogen. They raise bad cholesterol and lower good cholesterol.
We don't really do a whole lot about.
Staying away
just
from
watching
processed
them
foods is
letting time take
easier
its
when
course,
you
but,
remember
this patient overdosed on bupropion or Wellbutrin. It ended up being pretty interesting. So Wellbutrin is like one of the most common causes of seizures.
Starts turning moldy because food manufacturers use man-made ingredients to fused with hydrogen.
Ladies.
The Air Academy Band is under the direction of Mr. Stony Black. Air Academy's program is entitled and includes Grandfather Clock, Hourglass, and the Colorado Bandmasters Association is proud to 25th annual state championships 4A finals. Drum majors Rebecca Laufenberger and David Giemark and the Air Academy Cadet Marching Band.
That's right. Excessive sugar can wreck your sex life. You see, sugar lowers testosterone. It reduces growth hormone production. It also creates leptin resistance and makes you tired, as well as triggering stress and anxiety. So let's talk about testosterone first. Excessive amounts of sugar
Ladies and
lowers
gentlemen.
testosterone, and that's the hormone that's responsible for sexual well-being and muscle mass.
Glucose metabolism
Now, when
requires
the
insulin,
good news is that
hormone produced by your
although
pancreas.
esketamine is new, its
Here's how
sister
normal
drug
glucose
ketamine.
metabolism works and what happens when you have diabetes, a disease where your body can't produce enough insulin or it can't use insulin properly. The food you eat consists of 3 basic nutrients: carbohydrates, protein, and fat. During digestion, chemicals in your stomach break down carbohydrates.
Today, since I can't drive after treatment. Here I am taking my and
Dear student,
Diabetes is een chronische stofwisselingsziekte waarbij er niet genoeg of helemaal geen insuline aanmaakt. Insuline dat ervoor zorgt dat de suikers...
Diabetes is a disease of the pancreas. It's the energy your body needs for daily activities. Insulin is the helper or the key that lets glucose into the cells of the body. When a person has diabetes, one or more of the following things happens. The pancreas does not make insulin. The pancreas does not make enough insulin. Or the pancreas makes insulin that the body does not use properly, also known as
received his Bachelor in Science. Harbor, and then went on to medical school at Wayne State University. Starting off research fellow, then making his way here at the University of Washington, fellowship. And I think he brings a really interesting perspective because since joining the faculty and for really a decade now, he has helped.
I'm a lecturer in quantum information theory. Linear path forward and backwards in a straight line. Now,
good evening.
if we go to the second dimension, we have two dimensions. We have width and we have length. So hypothetically, if an organism lived inside of here, then it would be able to move down
and his idea
right, and
helped
then where
many
else is
people
it?
who were suffering under the caste system.
Like a
This man was called
My name
Siddhartha
is,
Gautama.
My name is Manapo Bhikkhu, and I am a Buddhist monk.
Cannabis programs across the country, and then have a kind of a close-up look at Colorado. This room must be full of Lutherans. Everyone's in the back.
There's this idealism out there where people will, maybe write.
Well, I think that on that end where,
Hello, I'm Ethan Edelman. I'm the founder and executive director of the Drug Policy Alliance, or
Being
DPA.
generalizations and
We're
say it's not really a policy approach that's going to work in most situations.
This is the Cannabis Enigma, cutting through the smoke to have informed, serious conversations for regular people.
I am Peter Christ. I am from Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. We formed this in 2002 to give a voice to law enforcement. There used to be a time in America when you could actually move someplace where there wasn't a drug problem. Middle of Kansas,
the
whatever.
big difference between pessimists in life, between happy, excited, fulfilled people and negative, tiring, depressed people. Now, everyone wants to be physically healthy, but it's important to want to be healthy as well. The true measure of mental fitness is how optimistic you are about yourself and your life. Truly optimistic, you must learn how to control your thinking in very specific ways so that you feel terrific about yourself and your situation most of the time, no matter what happens.